Let's do it. Let's pivot back. We're going to go to one more Cavs topic later in the show. We're kind of weaving Cavs in and out today. We're going to talk a little Browns again. Get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Hey, before we go to I love this next topic, by the way. I think it's great. Before we go to that, can I play a little game real quickly? Because I got my curiosity was piqued when I was talking to Leroy about salaries and how they would transfer today. Yeah. Does anybody want to guess what Bob Feller made in 1950?
$13.
Per game or per year?
No, per year.
What did he make? I don't know.
1950?
1950?
Yeah.
Per year?
He made
15 grand.
30,000.
15 grand.
He made $65,000.
Okay.
And here's what's I didn't know this until I looked it up. He went into management and said, cut my pay by $20,000.
That was in the 50s?
In 1950. That number, by the way, today, anybody want to guess what that would be today? $65,000 in 1950. What would that be today?
Oh.
Steve
20
says
million?
4 million.
No.
I have no idea.
What'd you say?
I don't know. That's 15 million, 20 million.
$850,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was the
just throwing a
premier
crazy number out
pitcher.
there.
He was it.
And he was making minimum salary today.
And he made that would equate to $850,000 today.
Yeah.
And he went into his bosses and said, "Look, I was only 15-14 last year, and that wasn't good enough. I want you to cut my pay."
That's a bad job out of Bob Feller.
For 45. Well, this is the same guy who on December 8th, 1941, went down to his recruitment office in Iowa and said, "Sign me up. I'm going to fight."
Yeah,
he was a different cat.
Yeah.
They don't make him like that anymore. I met him many times. He was cantankerous as hell. I mean, if any Cleveland fan, he would be at signing shows and stuff, and I played in some alumni games with him, and he had a grudge, man.
I sat with his wife once at a charity event for ALS, and she was super sweet. Very nice lady.
It's a nice little contrast because he didn't have a sweet bone in his body, but man, was he all-time great. Okay, Mike, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fast. It's hard to believe that.
It really is hard to believe that the premier pitcher in the game was making less than what would be less than $1 million today.
That's insane.
All right, so this next topic, there are 3 teams I'm going to give you guys. You tell me which team is in the worst shape looking ahead to the future. So which was the one you least want to be if you are trying to dig yourselves out of the basement? The Browns, the Cowboys, or the Jets? Which one of those 3, Bo, we'll start with you, is in the worst situation?
I didn't look. I should have looked for the salary cap situations with Dallas and the Jets. Yeah. However, to me, on the surface, it's clearly the Browns are in the worst shape. With the Jets, as much as I was down on them this year, they're not stuck with Aaron Rodgers for years and years.
Right.
You know, they can move on from him after this year. Now, they don't have a quarterback, but at least they're not stuck with a terrible contract on their payroll. I look at the Jets, and individually, there's some real talent, especially on their offense. They have way more talent than the Browns do on offense.
And defense.
They've got some good defensive pieces.
Yeah, although they haven't played great defense, they've been okay. But this last game, they got smoked. But yes, especially on the D line, they have some. Now they don't have a Myles Garrett, but they have some good players. And I think the Jets are in the best shape of the 3 of them. Mm-hmm. What I would say about between Dallas and the Browns is Dak was having a bad year before he got hurt, and maybe he's just getting old and he's not going to be that good anymore. But based on recent track record, I'm going to way more bet on Dak bouncing back. I mean, Dak led the league in touchdowns last year. Yeah. It's just 1 year ago.
It's the MVP candidate.
Yeah, so I'm going to bet on Dak bouncing back more than I'm going to, the Browns have no quarterback. They have no quarterback right now. And they're stuck paying a quarterback. At least Dallas. Yeah, listen, if Dak has just gone over the cliff, then they're in terrible shape. But if he's more like Dak is more likely to be better next year than anybody that's going to play quarterback for the Browns.
No question.
Going forward, as we all 3 wait to answer, is there anybody here that thinks it's not the Browns that is in the worst shape?
It might. I mean, honestly,
Because I want to hear the case. I need to be cheered up a little
I think
bit.
the Jets could be in a worse spot than
Really?
the Browns. Yeah, I mean,
I think
like
the Cowboys are in the worst.
so
I
there
think
you go. I mean,
for me it was between the Browns and the Cowboys. But
it's not like an easy call to say who's in the worst spot. I think
yeah, but they've got an $85 million hit for the next 2
Right.
years from a guy that's not going to play for them.
correct. So I mean, like the Browns, I think the Browns have a coach, the best coach there. I mean, the Cowboys need a coach, Jets need a coach.
It's a good point.
Cowboys
fair.
don't need a quarterback, most likely, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm with you on Dak.
Yeah.
Jets need a quarterback and a coach, and the Browns need a quarterback. So I don't know the situation cap-wise with the Jets or Cowboys as much as we know the Browns, but I think that the Jets, the Rodgers thing's been a disaster.
Yeah.
That's
they're
going to
free
be
of it
one
next
of the worst
year.
trades of all time, right?
No.
I mean, it's a bad trade.
It's
Definitely.
absolutely a bad trade.
I don't know
but-
about worst of all
like,
time, but
Maybe a little over the top there with
see,
that.
yeah, but
the
it's
point
bad.
is, it's an
But
awful
them,
it's really bad. Yeah.
At the end of this year, it's over. They're done.
That's true. But
And
it's
we're
been
wearing
bad
that
for the
boat
2
anchor.
years.
We're wearing that boat anchor for 2 years after this
is
season.
Rodgers going to be their quarterback next year?
No,
No, I don't think
he's
so.
done.
Okay, so he's done. So they got to find a quarterback. They got to find a new head coach. It's New York. Doesn't matter who they hire. They're going to run him out of town in a year anyway. So I would rather be the Browns.
Wow, I am stunned right now.
I think it's a little. I mean, you didn't win me over, but it's a good argument. I mean, there is an argument to be made. It's a legit argument. I think.
I continue to say that we're looking in the wrong places. Like we keep looking at coach, we keep looking at quarterback. Yeah, our quarterback is situation is bad, but what compounds the situation with the Browns is at least I can say if I plug the quarterback in, I know I got Garrett Wilson. I already know that I got CeeDee Lamb. You plug a quarterback in here, you still need to upgrade the receivers. You don't have a left tackle. You don't have your offensive line is getting old. Myles Garrett, you still don't have another guy on the opposite end of him. At least if I'm the Jets, I got Sauce Gardner, and I mean we got Denzel Ward, but Denzel Ward misses 5-6 games a year. We still can't identify whether or not. And then plus we got picks now, but how are these guys going to get these picks correct? Like. I'll give the Dallas – people talk about how crazy the Dallas Cowboys are, the Jets are. They draft way better than us, even if they miss at quarterback.
That's true. Lately, you're right.
We took Jed Wills in a draft with CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. That's the craziest – like I'm still having heart palpitations about that today. And so for me – I look at it from a perspective. The Browns, and I said this on Ultimate Browns, the Browns is in a weird, dangerous little spot right here because there is no readily available, hey, just take this guy and move this guy, and all of a sudden they're good. You don't have readily a high available pick. Even if you got a readily high available pick at quarterback, I'm not convinced that this group of people can mold and shape a quarterback and turn him into a star.
And that's a big factor, too.
And that's huge for me.
Now, I'm also – I don't have faith in the Jets, even though they have drafted better lately. I think that what's interesting to me about this question is the triumvirate of owners. You can almost hold these guys up as the poster children for bad ownership.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, Woody Johnson, and Jimmy Haslam. And they all, in my view, have not entrusted the organization with minds that know better. They're the kingpins in all three organizations.
I think Woody Johnson meddles less than the other two, but he's still been bad.
Yeah, he's been bad. And my friends that are Jets fans, tell me that, well, as bad as it is in Cleveland, you can rest easy that you'll never have the worst owner. Now, I disagree with that. But for me, it has to be the Browns. And because what's the most important position in the sport? Quarterback. And yes, two of them definitely need one. I think Dallas is okay. I'm not sure what happened to Dak Prescott this year. I just think, sometimes success snowballs more success and failure snowballs more failure. I kind of think that's what happened there this year with him. But if you ask me, of the three, who has the best quarterback position, it is unquestionably the Cowboys. And what puts it over the edge for me for why the Browns are in the worst position is because while they still need to find a quarterback, they know it's going to have to be through the draft because you can't go out and find and pay a second top-tier quarterback. You're paying your quarterback the next 2 years almost more by 2 times than the top quarterbacks are making in the league. Mm-hmm. it's handcuffing. It's absolutely disqualifying.
Is there a chance they could go after someone that is, like a Darnold or a Geno Smith, somebody who is a high draft pick, who's still relatively young, younger than Jameis Winston? I'm not advocating for this person, but like, let's say somebody of the ilk like a Zach Wilson, right, who was a top pick, who really hasn't had a lot of.
Dustin
I'm not saying we should go after Zach Wilson, by the way.
Saying,
I'm saying that's an example.
If you go after somebody that has a name value and that's going to come with a price tag.
Yeah, but I don't know what the price tag is for somebody who's been ran off.
But how do you
trade for Trey Lance?
How do you pay
someone like that? I don't know.
Trey Lance hasn't played. We ain't seen him.
Well,
he played like 5 games.
He's not going to require a ton of money.
He ain't going to require a lot.
Yeah, but the Niners gave up on him for a reason.
Okay, well, the Browns are between a rock and a hard
I'd
place.
almost rather go, with an unproven commodity
the Jets gave up
out
on
of college
Darnold.
because
The Panthers gave up on Darnold. The Panthers gave up on Baker Mayfield. The Rams, the Browns, I'm just saying, like, just because a team gives up on somebody doesn't mean that guy stinks.
No, I know it doesn't, but
although Darnold hasn't played well the last couple of weeks.
Two teams have given up on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you just try to go the Brock Purdy route. It's
true.
Try to go the Brock Purdy route. I know that was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, but what's
and I'm
the
not
odds
saying
of
you're going
that?
to find him in the 7th round.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Mr. Irrelevant has turned into a Pro Bowl quarterback. That's even more bizarre than Tom Brady going 199. But to me, there is value. I was watching the Rams game the other night, and they were making a point to talk about how the Rams have really hit from the 3rd to the 5th round. And they got Williams in the 3rd. They got Nakua in the 5th. They've had some other hits in rounds 3, 4, and 5. We don't have those. How do we get out of this? We have to Rams our way out of this. We have to go find value guys later in the draft that end up being stars. It's the hardest thing in the league to do, but it's not impossible. See Brock Purdy, see Williams, and see Nakua. Those are 3 guys at 3 different positions.
But the difference, though, is the Rams have a quarterback, or had one. He's kind of out of gas at this point. And the Rams aren't that good. They're just kind of mediocre right now.
No, but for the 49ers, they didn't have a quarterback. And they found lightning in a bottle with... And look, it's
you
easy
can't
to say,
rely
that's
on
like saying,
that.
Well, how do you get out of your financial problems? You just go buy a winning lottery ticket. It's very difficult.
Yeah, sure.
I understand that. But I don't see... If you're looking for pass, because a lot of teams say, well, we're going to build through free agency. We're going to build through draft. The problem with the Browns moving forward is you can no longer bank on the known commodity because that comes with too high of a price tag.
Yeah,
When you're paying a player $85 million each of the next 2 years, and you're going to get nothing out of them, you're in an $85 million hole to start the race.
That's true.
Why can't we get lucky like the Steelers?
Justin Fields is available.
He is. I think they'll bring them both back. I think that dynamic there is something that's going to be interesting.
But they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
No. Well,
right.
I don't know. Adam, I have no idea. Do you ever count on Mike Tomlin?
To win the Super Bowl? Yes.
Okay. Well, he's won one. He's been
that was a long time ago, though.
I don't care, Adam.
Yeah.
Every year, it's tough to win a Super Bowl.
I hear you. You're right, but he hasn't won a playoff game in a long time.
Well, he hasn't been very good at quarterback in a long time.
He's an excellent coach.
I'm just tired of people jamming up Mike Tomlin. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
This is what I will take. I love the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if you guys don't like this, okay, whatever, but it's just, this is football facts. We thought we were to a point where culture means that it don't matter who you put on the field. We got a culture that says we're going to be competitive. If it's a backup, if it's Duck Hodges, if it's Mason Rudolph.
Right.
They're always competitive.
Every single year, they make
whoever
the playoffs.
Puts on that black and gold,
whoever put it on, they come out there and they ready to go. So for me, if that's what I'm exchanging, that's what I want. I don't want no 2-7. Oh, we did good this year, and then next year we fall off.
Wouldn't you love it for once that our team, when they put on that helmet right there, they got superpowers.
Right.
Other teams did.
Well, you got 2 teams in this division that are like that because the Ravens are like that too.
You're right.
Right. I mean, I never played baseball in my life, but if I put on those pinstripes, I feel like I was the best baseball player the world's ever seen.
You sure as hell don't have somebody talking about business decisions, and you sure as hell don't have.
Can you imagine a Steeler making that comment,
bro?
He'd be out.
I asked Aditi this comment, and I asked Mary Kay about this comment. But I'm facts with this, man. Every single free agent they bring in here, all of them, they all leave on a bad term. All of them. They all listen. You got Odell, you got Jarvis, you got old dude Jadeveon Clowney. You got Zadarius Smith saying, "Get me up out of here." John Johnson was talking crazy. Juan Thornhill talking crazy right now.
That goes to my point of toxic soil. Like whatever seed you bring in here and plant, we're going to ruin it.
All right. Well, listen. Let me just say this, because the biggest problem that I see right now with all this conversation about finding the quarterback is the GM is no good. We have a bad GM. Look at all the better players on this team.
All right, so clean house. Give John Dorsey whatever he wants and bring it back. How about that?
It's so funny that you
I'd
say
co-sign that.
It's so funny that you say that. And John Dorsey certainly was far from perfect here.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's far from perfect.
Well, but
he was the closest thing to it.
He was. His biggest mistake was hiring Freddie Kitchens. That was
100%.
Which we all thought was okay at the time, but it would turn out to be a huge mistake.
Because here's the thing.
It was a career-ending blow for him.
Dorsey's a guy that
he rolls the dice.
He's a gut guy.
He's a gut guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
he's a football guy, and because in that moment, like he was going off his gut, it was the wrong call.
Well, look at what he's done now. The Chiefs, the Browns, and the Lions.
Well, I don't give him credit for the Lions.
He's in the organization.
room, dude.
Right,
in the building. I got to give him credit for it.
Yeah.
And what happened when he left
and they've
here?
given him credit. They've been like, he's been a
fine.
great addition to
Yeah,
the
listen,
staff.
he did. Listen, whatever we think of Baker, he wasn't the best quarterback in that draft.
No.
He should have taken Allen or Lamar. But overall, he did a better job by far than any other GM has done.
He got you Wyatt Teller. He got you Nick Chubb in the second round.
Denzel Ward.
He got Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
Hey, he even went out and made the trade for Odell Beckham Jr. And at the end of the day, like, hey, he made the trade for Jarvis Landry. Like, listen, I can't knock him for what he did. All I can say is right now, I have a big problem with anybody who made an evaluation for David Bell and thought he was going to be a player.
Anthony Schwartz.
How would you look at that? Anthony Schwartz ran reverses, bro. He couldn't even run regular routes. And that was the guy you
Now,
took.
again, I'm killing Andrew Berry. You could point a guy like that out for probably any GM.
No,
Yeah, but they've got a track record in the third round of wide receivers.
He dropped him. He came back next year. If you get it one time, think about it. I did it with Anthony Bell, Anthony Bell, but David Bell, excuse me. Then you come back with Schwartz.
No, Schwartz
was
and then Bell.
Same difference.
But still, you're right.
Yeah,
Like,
like difference.
And you passed
screwed
on
up in the
Amon-Ra
same
St. Brown.
round at the same position. Massively.
And we were questioning Tillman until the last few weeks.
And guess what? We got Jamari Thrash. You get rid of Amari Cooper, he can't touch the field.
I mean, he was a 6th-round pick.
I don't care. You got rid of some people. It's evaluation
Well, but Tillman
time.
has gotten the opportunity. He's taken advantage of it.
Get Elijah Moore. Get all of these dudes that you're 2-7. It's the only way he's saving his job. And let's be clear, Siaki Ika. You got people that never even put a jersey on. Siaki Ika never even was active. The only way you're saving your job is
Perrion Winfrey.
Perrion Winfrey. The only way you're saving your job is if you get these dudes and they blow up and do something for you. Right now, you still living off the Elijah Moore? That experiment's over, man.
Yeah, I agree with Dustin. I would try to get John Dorsey back. It's funny that you said that. I don't think they will, but I think Dorsey and Kevin Stefanski, I'd like to see them together. I don't know that Dorsey would want to stick with Stefanski, but I think he should.
I think they'd work out. I think Stefanski is, to me, I'm like a huge Stefanski fan now, and I was not a big advocate of him when they got him.
I remember.
For a variety of reasons. Nothing was personal. It just was I didn't think he was the best candidate for the job. Turns out he was. I think. I think he's been totally screwed by ownership and by the front office and by some of the decisions behind the scenes that have been made. I think anybody who works for that organization probably has a tough go of things because of who you work for. But I think he's made the most of it. I think he's got the calmest personality. I think his emotions don't get the best of him. And when he has, in the past, like Leroy said, 5 quarterbacks, whatever you win with, the guy knows how to do it. I think once things sort of calm down here and we figure out where this team's headed, I think Stefanski will be the guy. I don't think Andrew Berry should be the GM. But I like Kevin Stefanski.
Maybe get rid of deep.
Make some changes with your staff, right? And try to fix your offensive line coach or whatever. Try to fix the running back situation. Maybe he goes back to calling plays again. I don't know. But I think overall, as a leader, Stefanski's a really solid coach.
They should have never let Van Pelt go. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was weird. Would you think John Dorsey would come back?
I don't know. I don't know what the terms were that he ended on with the
I know he still lives here. I saw him at the gas station.
When John Dorsey was the
A week
GM
ago.
of this team, we had so much fun with him.
Did you ask him?
in
Can you
training.
please come back?
I try not to be. I try not to be a weirdo. Like
You know how
he was
now
sitting in the gas station, like getting his coffee.
Yeah.
You know how all our GMs in this town all talk the same? Now, our other GMs are doing a good job, but they all talk. They have the same nerdy way that they all talk.
And they don't say much.
Whereas John Dorsey, when I remember, he would sit down with us at training camp.
awesome.
He was busting my balls all the
wasn't a
time.
robot,
it
man.
was so fun.
Yeah.
You know.
And the other thing about Dorsey that I really loved is that I felt like there was a little sense of like fear to him. Like when he walked around, he was a really confident guy. I think the players also felt that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that I don't think anybody is like walking around. I think the players have a sense of entitlement. No one's going to have entitlement around John Dorsey.
No,
I don't.
That
John's
guy
a
walk around with
football guy.
He wore that sweat, the same sweatshirt every day.
Every day.
I
Loved it.
I saw that. The Jed Wills thing. I just when I went to sleep, I was sitting there thinking like, man, dang Andrew Berry, you looking crazy right now. If you got a GM that's really about it, if you know not to say that. Like, if you talk about business decisions and I took myself out, first of all, you supposed to be scared to a point where you ain't even talking about that. Like, people that got cut for way less than that.
I hear you. I didn't have a problem with it, seeing it with context.
He's not good. If you're good, maybe those
But he's
words
hurt.
fall out of your mouth.
He's hurt. He was just saying he's hurt. He couldn't play.
I
say
get
that.
it. Or
I'm not gonna-
business decision.
I'm not going to kill a guy for
you
for
know
that.
what they used to tell us? If you were
Yeah.
an injured list, you don't talk to the people. You on the injured list, you don't speak to the press.
Yeah, I mean there's something to be
fair.
said for that.